2 weeks? Really, Toey? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to One Piece, episode 1145. And unfortunately, this is going to be the last episode for a couple weeks, because the next 2 weeks are going to be off with, I guess, there's going to be during one of these weeks, a little recap special or something with CP0 or whatnot. But I'm kind of getting sick of this, if I'm being honest. Ever since they came back from this 6-month break, 6 months off, they've been taking breaks a lot more often. And a 1-week break is one thing. Like, oh, we have 1 week off or whatnot. But 2 weeks now? A 2-week break after having taken a 6-month break off already? Between the end of last year and beginning of this year? It's like, they don't need to be doing this. I understand there's always the worry of, like, catching up to the manga and everything, and you want to stay far enough behind to where it's like you don't have to worry about that. I get that. And I understand wanting to put forth everything into this, because especially lately, the animation has been top quality. The way they've, like, enhanced the art and the sound effects and the music, all of that's been like top quality, amazing, peak One Piece. But the problem is, you take 6 months off. You have all those 6 months to start working on this, to start like improving on all of this. And then you come back and you're going to be taking weeks off all the time. I feel like they take a week off like every month. And now they're taking 2 off for the beginning of October. And it's like, it's not like it's the holidays or something, because at that point, it's like, okay, that's understandable. You take off, you take like a couple weeks off during the holidays, sure. That makes sense. But it's like, it's just the beginning of October. That doesn't make any logical sense to take a break here. Especially 2 weeks. And it's like, the only thing I can really think of is like, that they're going to need those 2 weeks to really set up for the next episode. And I mean, there's a little bit of excitement for that, because that means that episode 1146 is probably going to be really great, going to probably be really intense and have a lot of great imagery and visuals to it. But it's also like, I don't want to wait. Because technically I'm waiting 3 weeks. After this week, the next episode is 3 weeks from today. There are 2 weeks in between that are going to have no One Piece. And that's just crazy. That sucks. I have something planned that I can do, like, in place of One Piece for these 2 weeks. So it's not like I'm going to be completely, like, dead in the water as to what to do. And it's not going to be just a case of like, oh, well, then I'll just do Togenaki and the YouTube stuff and that's it. I have something that can help replace it for that time, specifically for those 2 weeks, but it's just like, I don't want to have to do that. You know? I'm just like, it just irritates me. And yes, part of that is just because of how big of a One Piece fan I am, and I just want to keep seeing more and more and more. All these breaks are like just like blue balling me practically. But it's like, it also kind of like really messes with like the mental schedule of it all. Because it's like, I want to keep seeing them week to week to week, and it's like my mind is prepped for that. So when you have a week off, it like throws me off in terms of the excitement and the immersion of the series. And then having, 2 weeks away from it instead of just 1, it's like, that's going to be even worse. And I don't plan to react to the recap special episode, Because I don't need a CP0 recap. I just don't. It's a waste of time. Some people might like benefit from that. I don't. So I don't really have a reason to react to it. But on top of that, it's like I also don't want to get distracted, like in terms of the reactions to stuff like that. I just want to focus on like the story as it is and where it's at. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. I'm too autistic for this shit, you know? But we left off with all of the Gorosei having arrived. We get to see all of their forms. Let me see if I can get this off the top of my head. So obviously we have Jaegarsha Saturn, who is the spider. I don't remember the exact specific names of each of them. Then we have Marcus Mars, who is the bird. We have Jupiter, who is the worm. We have... Oh god, I'm trying to remember their names. Warcury is the boar. And then we have Ethan Baron v. Nustro, who is the skeletal horse. That's all 5, yeah. Okay. Wow, I actually... Yeah, I'm very confident I got that all completely right. Wow. As I said last time, the best of them is absolutely Nustro. The skeletal horse is badass looking as well, but also seeing his half-point form is insane. It's just insane. And he's so fast. He's a swordsman, so he has the sword skills, the ice powers, like the cold touch of death. And it's just like... I hate that he's so fucking cool. It's like one of the absolute most horrifyingly bad people in this series, and he's just so fucking cool. It's like, come on, Oda. Usually you make the bad people at least, like, dumbasses or unlikable or just, you know, you want to see them get beat up, but I just want to see him kick ass. Like, come on, Oda. That's not fair. Like, you made Saturn so aggressively punchable. Like, Warcury is punchable, Mars is punchable. But you made Nustro specifically have this much aura. Be this fucking cool. And it's just like, that's just not fair, man. That's just not fair. I'm supposed to hate this guy. And you're making one of the coolest characters in this fucking series. That's not okay. But we get to see them all, like, you know, getting started on, like, taking action. We also see Zoro defeat Rob Lucci, which, you know, was always just a matter of time. Because Lucci is definitely, has not made as much progress in his strength as Zoro and Luffy have. Like, he's definitely stronger than he was, like, in Enies Lobby, of course. He obviously has his Devil Fruit awakened and all. But Zoro and Luffy have made so much more progress. They're just so aggressively stronger than him. And the only reason that it took Zoro so long to defeat him is, let's be honest, because Oda wanted to show off a cool battle. And 2, because Zoro wasn't going all out. The instant we see Zoro go all out, he just wipes Lucci off the face of the battlefield. It's just, it's so one-sided. Lucci would never admit that, though, because his ego would be too hurt, but, you know. He is just so much weaker than them. I would say Lucci is on Sanji's level. I would say he's on Sanji's level. To be fair. Which means that not only Zoro and Luffy, but Jinbei could also defeat him. Because Jinbei is also above Sanji. I know some people might not like that, but I firmly believe that Jinbei is still above Sanji in power. Based on, like, just everything we know and have seen. Also just skill. Just experience and skill. Like, Jinbei just has a lot more of that. Naturally. But yeah. Either way. Either way. Um, things are getting pretty crazy. And the Giants have come to join in the fight. Specifically, Dory and Broggy, who after Luffy is eaten by Jupiter, which is wild for a number of reasons, they come in and in tandem slice Jupiter's worm-ass head off, which, mind you, he'll be able to heal because he does that. But Luffy gets to finally see Dory and Broggy are here, which, gets him excited because he likes them. They're friends. And they're excited to see him because they like him. And also, they know he's Nika, which adds a lot more to that as well. But they already liked him anyway. Whether he was Nika or not, they would absolutely, aid him anyway. So it's cool seeing that reunion. And although we haven't seen the reunion between them and Usopp yet, that's going to be awesome as well. We do know that Usopp knows they're there and is also super excited about that because he looks up to them, honestly, more than even Luffy does. Because, they are representative of Usopp's dream of being a great warrior of the sea. So it's when they actually do fully get to reunite with Usopp, that's going to be such a great moment. But, seeing them reunite with Luffy either way was fantastic as well. So I'm excited to see more of this. Let's get into the episode and find out what happens next. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. The giant robot has risen. This robot that we saw very early on in this arc, that is said to have assailed Marijois in the past, is finally up and moving. And apologizing to Joy Boy. So we have this seeming idea that the robot probably worked directly alongside Joy Boy in the past, and that's why it also assailed Marijois. Though it wasn't able to do much at the time, I believe was what was said. So, yeah, this is pretty big. It's clearly going to be on our side. And I assume if and when it sees Luffy, it's going to see Luffy as Joy Boy. Especially if he's still in Gear 5th. So that's very curious. We know the robot is also a signifier of the technological advancements of the ancient past that Vegapunk has been trying to emulate in the current day. The advancements that were halted by the world government's inception and were lost to time. So we don't even know how advanced this robot is. It's going to be very interesting to see, especially compared to other robots we've had, just ranging from, Frankie and his, oh my god, what the fuck is his giant robot called? General Frankie, right? Yeah, I believe it's General Frankie. But also you could compare it obviously to Vega Force 1, which I believe Vegapunk said was modeled after the robot. So I'm very curious to see what this thing can do. It's bigger than the Giants, which is a big deal. I wonder how it compares to San Juan Wolf. Because isn't San Juan Wolf bigger than the Giants? You know, Blackbeard's crewmate, the one who was already a giant and then also like has the giant fruit or whatever. Yeah, I'm curious about that. But because I think I've heard that San Juan Wolf is like the biggest, or at least like when I heard that was the biggest character that's been introduced. Like actual character, not counting like a robot like this. So I'm very curious about that. But anyways, um yeah, this thing is massive, and I assume that's why we're gonna have 2 weeks. Maybe next episode is gonna touch on that, and maybe we'll finally get to like at least the start of the broadcast, revealing the truth of the world. But in the meantime, we have the end to Zoro and Lucci's fight. Zoro has just completely won, even though Lucci doesn't want to give up. He's just done. And funny enough, Jinbei comes in and deals the final blow to him, knocking him out of his Zoan form, which is really funny to me. Zoro is the one who truly defeated him, so it's not. I wouldn't even call this like a kill steal, but Jinbei is the one who actually led to the final blow of the battle. And then Mars comes in and scares the absolute shit out of Lucci, which is funny as hell to me. it's it's just like all of a sudden, giant ass horrifying bird monster, and Lucci's like, "What the fuck is that?" But I guess maybe he recognized Mars's voice, or at least just understood in the moment. Because we know for sure York didn't. York did not understand what the fuck was going on there and was scared as shit. Which, you know, fair. We also get to see Luffy and the Giants take on Warcury and Saturn at the same time. Warcury, we get to see a bit of what he can do. He can apparently buzzsaw spin in the air and turn his tusks into blades. We can also see that Saturn has the ability to spit explosive poison, which is interesting. But Luffy turns into a home run batter and just knocks it right back, which is amazing. This didn't I feel like this episode didn't have as much going on for it until the end with the giant robot coming to life. Finally, after all this setup for it. But it was definitely still a big episode. And I feel like it's setting up for what's to come next episode. And I feel like that's going to be some really, really big shit. I mean, it's got to be if we're having 2 weeks off. So, yeah, this was really intense. It was really good. A lot of great animation, a lot of really fun visuals. Like I said in the reaction, I had seen Luffy like holding the paintbrush and everything in like this little this visual that was noting that there would be no episodes for the next 2 weeks, which I assume was in the preview for next time last episode. So I did know about that, but I didn't have any context for it. I didn't know why he was holding a paintbrush and everything, so did not expect baseball. If I'm being honest, I did not expect baseball. We're seeing that a lot of the rest of the crew are just trying to get the ship free at the moment. And in the end, the Giants, while helping fight, are also acknowledging that they are there to escape. They're not there to fight. That's not the reason. And so they even sound the horn. Dory sounds the horn to tell everybody else, we gotta go. And that's what everybody starts to do. But we also see as Bonnie and them get to the Giants' ship, we see that they're being blocked off by some of the vice admirals. So that's not great. But we'll see how it goes. I feel like we're obviously going to escape. It's just a matter of like how smooth of an escape it is. Um, this is going to be insane though. But it's interesting too because um, I wonder like if each of these episodes are going to kind of focus on a different member of the Gorosei. Because last episode, obviously, while showing all of them, Nustro definitely was the focused one, was the one that got the best screen time, the most screen time, and the most cool moments. Even though like you also had Jupiter and the others fighting as well. In this one, it was very clearly Mars. Although Mars didn't do any fighting or action in this, he definitely was the one who was focused on the most at this point. Talking to Lucci, coming in towards York and everything. So I wonder if next time maybe it's going to be another one of them. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I also want to bring up real quick. It is interesting that Lucci specifically asked Mars to spare Kaku. That's really fascinating because Lucci you wouldn't think would ask that. You wouldn't think Lucci would really care, but I guess maybe he does, which is interesting. Is Lucci starting to be changed? Is he starting to like actually bond with Kaku and maybe the others in CP0? That could lead to some interesting character developments. So I'm very curious what they're going to do with that. Um, but yeah, I'm just at this point excited to see where this continues to go. So tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. And like I said, I already have plans for what's going to take this spot for the next 2 weeks. But it's only just for the next 2 weeks because, again, One Piece is only off for that time. It's not like a long break. But yeah, I have something set for that. So next week and the week after, there'll be still Togenanki. There'll still be the YouTube stuff. But then there will also be something else with those. So just stay tuned for that, and you'll see it as it comes along. For now, though, thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.